Not too long ago, I wrote an article about how to develop your writer's voice. I've put a link to it in the description. But what is that exactly? What is a writer's voice? It's difficult to describe because it's an abstraction, like truth or justice, but like them, it's very real. When we read a piece of writing and talk about the writer's voice, we're talking about the tone, style, or personality of the narrator. Here's what Wikipedia has to say about it. An author uses sentence patterns not only to make a point or tell a story, but to do it in a certain manner that amounts to a personal signature, a characteristic way of presenting reality. I'll talk more about this in what follows, but I think that Stephen King has one of the most distinctive voices of any author. I believe it is one of the reasons he is so successful. So, the question is, how does one develop one's own writer's voice? There are 3 answers. First, read a lot. Read it all. Fiction, nonfiction, good writing, bad writing. Read in areas that interest you, sure, but spread your wings. Read things, essays, articles, books that contain opinions you don't agree with. And don't neglect nonfiction. Good fiction and good nonfiction both hook into the reader's emotions. I once read a short work by Stephen King. It was nonfiction about his relationship with his mother. He wrote about her passing. By the end, I was sobbing. Second, write a lot. Don't just write in one genre. Maybe you love high fantasy, great, but every once in a while, write a sci-fi story or a mystery. Make it a short story. It might only be 1,000 words. Also, even if you love writing fiction, try writing nonfiction every once in a while. It could be a very short article. Third, keep in mind that developing your writing voice is a dark art. This point might seem to contradict the first 2, but I really believe that when it comes to writing, there are no rules. There are no rules except you must read and you must write. That said, if you do read and you do write, then at some point you will find that someone, I call her my muse, has moved in. And of course I'm speaking metaphorically. Really, you're developing an instinct, a habit. This is what I have found at least. The important thing is to get your thoughts on paper. After the first draft is done, there will be time to edit. But you can't edit what isn't there. With that in mind, here are a few things you might want to try out. Hyperbole or overstatement. I want to share with you one of my favorite paragraphs of anything I've ever read. It's from Stephen King's book, The Shining. Ullman stood 5'5", and when he moved, it was with the prissy speed that seems to be the exclusive domain of all small, plump men. The part in his hair was exact, and his dark suit was sober but comforting. "I am a man you can bring your problems to," that suit said, to the paying customer. To the hired help, it spoke more curtly. "This had better be good, you." There was a red carnation in the lapel, perhaps so that no one on the street would mistake Stuart Ullman for the local undertaker. Be brutally honest. To say that I'm shy would be like saying statues don't move much. It's true, but something of an understatement. Writing requires boldness, fearlessness. Write about the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you. This is a writing exercise. You don't need to show it to anyone. Feel free to ritually burn it afterward, but write it out. Create a story around it. Walk the line. Comedy straddles the line between what is acceptable and what is forbidden. So does entertaining prose writing. Think of your favorite comedian. If no one comes to mind, go to YouTube and watch a few. What did you laugh at? Chances are it was something outrageous. Perhaps something true, but something that's not at all polite to say. Now use that idea to write a story. Don't plagiarize. That's not what I'm saying. Dig into your own life, your own experiences, and come up with something that in some way mirrors the essence, the spirit of the joke. That's it. Thank you for listening. I would really appreciate it if you left a comment and told me how you developed your own writer's voice. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe.